So you openly have a sex addiction?
I mean, I had to have, dude. I was having sex like 3 to 4 times a day.
But okay, what is like a sex addiction? Because I feel like everyone has a fucking sex addiction.
Well, I feel like it's unachievable for a lot of people, so they have porn addictions, but that's
what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to have like a full-blown sex addiction unless you're rich or famous or something, because to get that kind of volume to where it's like really a problem.
Like, I feel like everyone would have a sex addiction if you could fuck 3 girls a day.
Well, I think it's also just like the amount of time you spend like talking to the girls, text, like just, you know, it's just a fucking life distraction. Like if you just had 3 girls show up at your house that you banged and then whatever, that'd probably be just like having fun. But when you like focus so much of your life on it, you know? And I think when you're dating like 50 girls or whatever, it's just it's like so time consuming, you know?
Yeah.
And, yeah.
So what was that like when you were living in like I guess it was like the Bel Air house? Was that like the prime of it, or was it like a little before that?
You know, honestly, I think like 2015 was probably the craziest because I was partying more. Like when I was doing the whole, you know, Bel Air Ignite thing, there was a crazy amount of girls around. I was fucking a lot, but I was also kind of like doing business. You know, I was like doing some other shit. Back in like 15, 16, it was bucket list time, man. It was like, I'm spending money, I'm fucking, I'm partying. And there was no regard for like, you know, like, okay, this is a, you know, model that works at the company. It was like, you know, all the chicks that were there were just, you know, there to have fun. And it was a little bit of a different vibe. And it was, yeah, I don't know. It was kind of like the first time I really got to experience like the rock star shit. So.
Do you ever have girls like, you know, now you hang around them so much, it's such a dangerous time here. Do you ever have girls like try and like extort you or like any of that stuff?
Well, I got cameras in all my bedrooms, so everything's recorded, like video and audio. So luckily I've just had no real issues, but I had a different situation, you know, like I created this environment where the girls had to come to me and there was this competition. So I wasn't kind of like aggressively hitting on girls. I wasn't like if a girl, you know, didn't get wet sucking my dick, it was like, whatever, you know, I like fucking, she's not into me. And next girl, like it was different. So I created this crazy environment. And I think one of the girls, that Samantha girl in the book did a good vignette on it. And it was kind of like the way she described it was intermittent positive reinforcement. So there's all these girls and they're competing and it's like, occasionally they'll get the attention or they'll have sex or whatever. And that's kind of like their, you know, reward, like in gambling or whatever. And so, and they don't know when it's going to come. And then they're all competing for it. And so it was like this crazy situation where, I think, you know, I was kind of the prize, right? So I created this like fucked up, nutty environment. And towards the end, it like drove me insane. It was like so fucking irritating. I remember one time I was on mushrooms and I felt like I was being pulled in so many different directions. And then on the boat, I took it to a whole different level. I rented this 300-foot yacht and I put 27 girls on there, most of which I had been dating. And it was like some of the most miserable I'd ever been.
What do you mean dating?
Yeah, when you say dating.
Like hooking up with, you know.
How many
like
girls
fucking?
you dated at once? Like, do you have multiple girlfriends or how they handle that?
It was probably like 50, I'd say. It was probably
50 girls at a time.
I mean, not like seriously dating each other, but like that I'm hooking up with here and there. And, you know, and some girls, this is also a difference, I think, between me and some other people is like, I would keep a girl in rotation for like a year, 2 years, 3 years sometimes.
But she knows, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, dude, I'm so open with my shit, you know, and that was another thing is like, I was so honest about it that they had to believe me, right? Because like, if you go out on a date and you ask a girl how many guys you fucked and she says, 87, you're going to know she's telling the truth, right? That's not like a number scheme either.
Yeah.
So when these girls would ask me questions and I would tell them the answer, and the answers were pretty fucked up and not like things that most girls would probably want to hear, they'd at least know that I was telling them the truth, right? Yeah. So we established that. And so because of that, I was able to get away with so much fucked up shit. Like I'll never forget, like this one girl was like bitching that her boyfriend had like made out with another girl, and yet she's fucking me after I've banged like 3 girls that day, and she's okay with that. But like
revenge sex.
Her boyfriend, but I'm saying like her boyfriend like fucked up one time, right? But like otherwise he was a good guy, and then I don't know, it just seemed a little.
So you just went with the method of just like openly admitting, like, yo, I'm a fucking.
I think that's the way to do it.
I am who I am type shit.
There's 2 ways you can do it. And I think a lot of guys basically kind of like keep shit on the DL. They don't post any girls and they kind of like, they got their things going on. And it's probably less headache, you know, in the short run.
That's not you, Bob.
That's me. Fuck it. I blast them everywhere because I'm upfront and honest. I have the same theory as Dan does. I just don't get as much pussy, but we're on the same page, Dan.
Okay, so yeah, so I mean, but by girls seeing you with other hot girls, that automatically like triggers something, right? Because they see you like, okay, this hot girl's fucking him. Like, you know, he's got to be, you know, good, or he's got to have a big dick, or there's got to be something.
I have a big
you know
dick. I
what
don't know if I'm good, but
That's
like,
really
but
interesting.
But the point is, there's
You feel
something,
confident
right?
with
There's
that?
a reason. Like, for instance, if you went out to the bar and you went there with a hot girl, your chance of getting laid would go up dramatically.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Girls want what they
dramatically.
can't have, man.
Yeah.
Well, but they see that as validation, right? Like it's social proof. Like if you've pulled a hot girl, if a hot girl finds you attractive or whatever, there's got to be something, right? So in their mind, you know, they're wondering like, okay, what's great about this guy? And so if you're dating a lot of them, and most of these girls were like the hometown hottie, right? Where they came from, they were the shit. And now they're not getting attention, and it's very strange for them, right? So they almost like have to like bang you to feel validated. And so it was just a very different situation than what I normally was used to, like in the military and high school when I was getting very little pussy and whatever, where it was basically like the opposite, where I would approach every single girl that I saw. And I think that's good. Like, obviously, like you have to build up to whatever. And so the first thing was losing the ego, right? Just like approaching every hot girl that you see and not worrying about rejection. And so that was, you know, how I got girls when I was younger, but it was not nearly as effective. And I
Wow,
learned
that
that in
is so
college,
interesting.
right? Like when I yeah.
Very interesting.
So like in college, we had a party. Like our fraternity would have a party, would invite every sorority. So we had like 10-to-1 girl to guy ratio. And that's when I saw it. I was like, wow, like guys that would never get laid in San Diego, you know, are fucking banging 2 chicks.
Mhm.
And the only reason is because there's more girls than guys. And so, I mean, I know it sounds fucking stupid and it's not rocket science.
No,
but
you're
like,
right. You're right.
It just works. Like I would have these parties that have 300 girls and there'd be 30 dudes and fucking, you know, you could come in on a wheelchair drooling and get laid.
it was a tough ticket to get into your house sometimes. Like you threw these massive parties in the hills, and I know that Dan Bilzerian's place was always a place that everybody wanted to go to. What made it like okay to? Because you obviously a lot of guys wanted to go to your spot.
Yeah, I lost like a lot of friends throwing parties for sure. It just, but like you just had to have the ratio right for the party to be good.
Mhm.
I mean, in my eyes, anyways. I mean, I probably overdid it, but I didn't really have a lot of fun at my parties, but I just made sure that as best I could,
Yeah.
that there was infinitely more girls than guys.